What's going on there, YouTube? Welcome back to another comic book video. All right, so we're going to continue our coverage over the X-Men, but now we're going to dive into X-Men Unlimited issue number 4, because this issue alone is very special for 4 different characters: Mystique, Nightcrawler, Rogue, and also Graydon Creed. This is the book where you have Nightcrawler find out who is his biological mother. And so as we get into today's storyline, we do pick up with Mystique going after a character known as General Armand. Now, General Armand is actually very important for the earlier parts of today's storyline. And the reason why, because this man was providing weapons to a group called Friends of Humanity. Now, in the early 1990s for Marvel Comics, they had given us a lot of different groups out there who were trying to kill off the mutant race. And they were just one of many of those groups. Now, here's the catch. You see, they were being led by a guy known as Graydon Creed. Now, Graydon Creed is the son to Sabretooth and also Mystique. And so for Mystique, she's very upset because this guy, Armand, was giving her son weapons to kill off the mutant race. Now remember, Graydon Creed is not a mutant at all. And matter of fact, he hates his mother with a flaming passion. And the reason why, because for Graydon Creed, he was left behind by Mystique because she found out that he was not going to be a mutant at all. And so she dipped out. Now, for Sabretooth, he had no idea he had a son out there at all. But here's the thing, for Mystique, the reason why she's going after Armand is not just because of the weapons, because him and also Graydon had hired Sabretooth to kill off Mystique. Because again, Sabretooth had no idea that he had a child with Mystique. Matter of fact, go check out my video when it came to Sabretooth miniseries in the early 1990s to get a full idea what happened in that storyline. But either way, it's Mystique saying, I want to use you, Armand, as a way to send a message to my son, Graydon Creed, to get back at him for what he tried to do, which was kill me off. And so just like that, by the end of this section, Mystique had killed him off. And really, for Graydon Creed, he does get the message very quickly because he knows Armand so well. They've been friends for 5 years. Now, he was told that his friend died by a heart attack. But for Graydon here, he knows it had to be something else. He also knows that most likely it has to be Mystique who had killed off his friend. Now, for this section, it's really being used as a way to tell us that for Graydon, he's not really a sane person. He is somebody who gets very angry very easily. And the reason why I'm saying that, because we kind of find out that Graydon had hired somebody to confirm that Mystique was his mother. Now, automatically, the guy says like, dude, yes, she is your mother. But he also tells him like, hey, dude, you also have a brother as well. Now, for Graydon, he had no idea he had a brother at all. And so he wants to know who in the world is his brother. But the guy says, you paid me to confirm that Mystique was your mother. You did not pay me to tell you who was your brother. Now, technically, he was joking. But for Graydon, he's kind of like, dude, I don't play around at all. And so he begins to kill the guy off slowly to get that information out of him. Now, guys, real quick, Graydon is not in his house. He's right now in his girlfriend's house, killing off a man right in front of her. But he does not care. He wants to know who in the world is his brother. But now we have to jump over to Washington, D.C. Now, when we do, we pick up with Nightcrawler arriving to Washington because he was called up by Forge to come back over to the States for a special kind of mission. Now, for Nightcrawler, he was not really told what that mission was all about. Now, for our hero, he's trying his best to blend in by using his image inducer. But while trying to do that, he oversees a father being abusive towards his son. And so you have Nightcrawler use his ability as a way to scare the father. But after doing that, we kind of find out that Kurt was not the only person called in for this mission. So was Rogue as well. Now, we also learned that part of their mission was to go undercover and head over to the funeral for the general. Now, for Rogue and Nightcrawler, still have no idea what in the world is going on. But then the service starts. Now, you have the priest arrive, but you have the priest begin to act a tad bit different. And guys, you already know that priest is Mystique. And we kind of find out that she had put bombs around the dead body of the general as a way to hopefully kill off Graydon. Now, it does seem like this would be a suicide mission because one, she's right next to the bombs, but two, if her bombs don't work, all these guys who work for Graydon, they have guns pointing at her at the moment. And so you have Nightcrawler and Rogue being able to move in to grab the bomb, but to also grab her and get the heck out of there. Now, for Nightcrawler, he only takes Mystique over to a different part of the graveyard to have a one-on-one conversation. Now, for Mystique, she's kind of surprised that Nightcrawler is here, but at the same time, she realized that if he is here, it all makes sense because this is a family matter. Now, for Nightcrawler, he has no idea who his biological mother is. But for Mystique, she told him, you need to ask your foster mother about your connection to me and why you and I look almost alike. But for Nightcrawler, he never did that at all. And so you have Mystique say, all I'm going to say is you, me, and Graydon and Rogue, this is a family matter. Now, you have Mystique leave, but she does tell Nightcrawler, if you want more information, you must go home. Now, for Nightcrawler, he has no idea what that truly means, but she tells him, you need to ask Rogue. And she disappears just like that, hiding in the crowd thanks to her powers. Now, you do have Rogue grab Nightcrawler to get the heck out of there. Now, later on in the day, you do have Forge meet up with Graydon Creed. And the reason why, because the Forge, he wants to know what is his connection to Mystique. Why was Mystique trying to go after Graydon Creed for? Now, for Creed, he tells Forge he has no idea why she was trying to come after him for. Because to him, there is no connection at all. Now, we already know that is a fat lie. And really, Forge also knows that is a fat lie as well. But Forge knows that for Graydon Creed, he's also trying to get into a position of power in the government because sooner or later, when it comes to Creed and his group, they're going to go after the mutant race. But he wants to make sure that he has enough power so that nobody can officially stop him. And so Creed tells him like, hey, sooner or later, I will be trying to kill off the mutant race in America. And you have Forge say, you can try. I'm telling you right now, you're going to fail. Now, once you have Creed leave the base of Forge, you then have Nightcrawler and Rogue walk into the room. Now, they still have no idea why in the world Forge had called them for. But you do have Forge say, listen, here's your mission. I need you guys to find Mystique because while she was here with me pretending that her mind was broken and I thought I could help her, she was actually here trying to go through my files to look for some very important information. Now, he also says that there's more information that Nightcrawler and Rogue need to know about, but unfortunately, they have to wait until they find Mystique because it's something very important for Nightcrawler. And so you have our two heroes go over to where Mystique said to go to, a place called home for Rogue and, well, Mystique. Not for Nightcrawler technically, but on their way over there, they have no idea they're being followed by Graydon Creed. But once you have Rogue and Nightcrawler arrive at the house that belonged to Mystique, Rogue, and Destiny growing up, you have Nightcrawler as Rogue. What was it like to have Mystique as your mother? Now remember, Mystique had adopted Rogue when she was a young girl. And really, this book right here is telling us that when it came to Rogue, she met Mystique right after her powers had activated. As we all know, only happened when she kissed a young boy known as Cody. Now for Rogue, she was scared. The people in her town, they were scared of her. She was alone. But here came Mystique, being this woman who Rogue needed in her corner. This person who showed Rogue that somebody does care for her, that somebody does love her. And so you have Mystique take Rogue in, and you have Mystique and Destiny raise Rogue together as a family in the house that Nightcrawler and her had just arrived at. Now you have Rogue leave Nightcrawler there because she has to go somewhere else in the neighborhood. Now, for Nightcrawler, while being at the house, he does have this flashback moment where he was back at the circus. Now, here's the thing. You see, while at the circus, he was with his foster mother and his foster sister. Now, for Nightcrawler and his foster sister, better known as Amanda, they had grew a bond with one another to the point where they actually wanted to be together as a couple. Now you had Amanda ask Nightcrawler to leave the circus, to come with her, but the problem is he couldn't. And the reason why, because the way he looked. He looked like a demon. It would be hard for him to go out in the public the way he looked. And so he had to tell her no. Now, after that, you then have Nightcrawler come back into reality. And the reason why, because he is then confronted by Graydon Creed. Now, this is Graydon telling Nightcrawler that they are brothers, that they are the sons of Mystique. Now, for Nightcrawler, he cannot believe in the fact that he is even related to a guy like Graydon. But in reality, they are brothers. They are the sons of Mystique. Now, for Creed, he's the one who tells us the origin of Nightcrawler and Mystique. We do learn that at a young age, Mystique had married somebody who was royalty. And so, of course, she married into royalty. The problem was that once she had gave birth to her son, Nightcrawler, he looked like a demon. And that freaked out everybody in the area. And once they saw her true form, they also freaked out as well again. And so they tried to hunt her down and her son, Nightcrawler. Now, apparently to Graydon, he heard that she had dropped her son behind and kept running. But the city folks, they had picked up Nightcrawler and threw him down a waterfall, hoping to kill the young baby. But in reality, he had survived. And so it's right now Graydon saying, you and I are brothers. We are the sons of Mystique. Now for Rogue, we do see her go back to the same spot where her powers had first manifested. And so for Rogue, she's standing there thinking back to the day when she had first kissed Cody, when her powers had drained everything from Cody, leaving him in a coma. And so for Rogue, she still feels bad for everything she did to young Cody. But then out of nowhere, you have Cody arrive. Now when he does arrive, it's kind of a huge, shocking moment for Rogue. But you have Cody say, listen, I don't blame you for anything that happened to me. Like, yes, I was in a coma for like 3 or 4 days. But the thing is, I moved on from that incident. I forgive you. Now for Rogue, she realized this whole conversation, there's something wrong with it. You see, for Rogue, she realized that it was Mystique pretending to be Cody. Now, for Rogue and Mystique, this really shows that for Mystique, she may have never showed love toward her sons, but she always loved her daughter. She was always there for her. She made sure to protect Rogue no matter what. And so for Rogue, she's kind of in a different spot. The whole idea of she kind of looks at Mystique as her actual mother and actually loves her and does not hate her all the way, even though she is an enemy of the X-Men and she has done some messed up things in the world. But it's Rogue kind of realizing that Mystique has been a great mother to her, even though she did use her to attack the Avengers. But either way, it's Rogue and Mystique kind of being able to reconnect with one another. But then you have Graydon Creed appear with Nightcrawler knocked out, and he's very upset. Because for both Nightcrawler and also Graydon, they both were abandoned by Mystique. But here comes the big catch. You see, earlier we had learned that Mystique was trying to get away from the crowd of people right after she gave birth to Nightcrawler. And so she had dropped the baby. After doing that, somebody else had threw him off the waterfall. But you have Mystique say, that's not true. What exactly happened was I used my ability to change my form to look like somebody else. And the reason why, because I realized that I did not want the child at all, but holding that child was slowing me down and I wanted to survive. And so she had used her ability to change her form to look like somebody else, somebody who found the quote unquote demon baby and wanted to get rid of it. And so she was the one who threw Nightcrawler off the waterfall, hoping that he would die, but to also give her the chance to survive. Now, years later, she realized that her son did survive, and she always wanted to know, was his adoptive mother better than her? But either way, that is the true origin of Nightcrawler. Now, here comes the big catch, because we do learn that it was Nightcrawler pretending to be Graydon Creed so that he'll then be able to get that information out of Mystique. But now it's time for us to get into the ending of today's video, where we do pick up with Graydon Creed reappearing, but this man, he's on a mission. He wanted to see somebody die in his family, and right now his main target is Mystique. And so he calls in this chopper, and when it does appear, it begins to shoot up the entire place. Now for Nightcrawler and Mystique, they fall off the cliff and they're now hanging for their lives. Now for Rogue, her main target right now is to stop her brother, Graydon Creed. But the problem is, he tells her, listen, if you try to stop me, your two loved ones are going to die. And so you have to choose right now to stop me or to save them. But at the same time, for Rogue, she realized that she can't save both people at the same time. And so you have Mystique say, save your brother, save Nightcrawler. And so you have Mystique let go, and it does look like she does fall to her death. And we're left to wonder, did she die or not? While you have Rogue being able to grab Nightcrawler and, well, save his life. Now for Creed, he was able to get away. And the book kind of ends on that note. But for Nightcrawler, at least now he knows that he is the son of Mystique. But this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see you on the next comic book video.